The Avengers never rest, do they? They keep changing and facing bigger threats, and fans love guessing what's next for them. These fan theories are a big part of the Marvel Universe, blending comic book stories with movie plots. In this video, we'll look at how these ideas might shape the future of the new Avengers, using details from both the comics and the films to see what could happen. Starting off with the Secret Invasion setup. In the comics, Earth gets sneakily infiltrated by the Skrulls, aliens who can shapeshift to mimic anyone. This leads to paranoia, as the heroes discover that some of their own might actually be these imposters. It's a full-blown crisis when everyone starts questioning each other's loyalty and identity. Fast forward to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, where subtle hints in movies like Captain Marvel and series like WandaVision suggest something similar might be brewing. Captain Marvel introduced us to the Skrulls, showing them as more sympathetic refugees than villains, but it left the door open to deeper stories. Meanwhile, WandaVision played with the reality and deception themes, perfect groundwork for a storyline about hidden identities. Putting all this together, it looks like the MCU could be setting up its own Secret Invasion arc. Imagine a scenario where the new Avengers must deal with an infiltration that tests their trust and unity, potentially leading to a blockbuster showdown. Up next, the Young Avengers are basically the next-gen heroes in the Marvel Comics, ready to fill the shoes of their iconic predecessors. Key players include Kate Bishop, who rocks the Hawkeye bow with as much swagger as her mentor, Kid Loki, who spices things up with his magical antics, and Wiccan, a powerful sorcerer closely linked to Scarlet Witch. These characters are not just filling pages in the comics, they're starting to make their mark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe too. Kate Bishop grabbed the spotlight in the Hawkeye series, where she wasn't just shooting arrows but also stepping up as a leader. Then there's Kid Loki, who popped up in the Loki series. His first appearance was brief but memorable, offering a glimpse into the complex personality layers this character could unfold. And we can't forget about Wiccan, who we saw as a child in WandaVision. His short appearance teased big potential for his future in the MCU. Coming up is the rise of a new leader. With Captain America changing up his shield and Iron Man making the ultimate sacrifice, the Avengers are definitely in need of a new leader. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, are the frontrunners. Captain Marvel proved she's a powerhouse during the big fight with Thanos in Avengers Endgame, and she knows a lot about space and other galaxies, which could be very useful. Doctor Strange controls magic and can bend reality, plus he's good at making tough decisions quickly, which is crucial when facing weird and dangerous situations. Both have shown strong leadership qualities in past movies, making them good candidates to take charge. Next in line, we've got the role of the Eternals in shaping the new Avengers. So, who are the Eternals? They're a race of immortal beings created by the Celestials, tasked with protecting Earth from their evil counterparts, the Deviants. We get a good look at them in Marvel Eternals, where they've been living on Earth in secret for thousands of years. Each Eternal has a unique power, like super strength, mind control, or the ability to manipulate energy, which makes them quite a formidable group. Now let's talk about how they might fit into the Avengers. Given their immense powers and ancient wisdom, the Eternals could significantly influence, or even join the Avengers. After the events of the Eternals, where they openly chose to defy the Celestials to save Earth, it's clear they're invested in humanity's fate. In interviews and teasers post-Eternals, there's been a lot of chatter about the involvement in a wider MCU. The end of Eternals specifically left us with a cliffhanger that hints at more interactions with current MCU characters. This could mean that characters like Cersei or Icarus might join forces with the Avengers in upcoming conflicts, bringing their cosmic perspective and powers to the team. Upcoming is the return of Tony Stark. In comic book worlds, dead doesn't always mean gone forever. Marvel Comics has a track record of reviving characters in creative ways, whether through time travel, alternate realities, or even magic. This sets a comic precedent that could theoretically open the door for Tony Stark's return to the MCU. Fans of Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark are still holding out hope for his return, despite his dramatic and heart-wrenching sacrifice in Avengers Endgame. There have been countless discussions and theories in fan forums and on social media speculating about how he could come back. Plus, Marvel Studios is known for listening to their audience, and the fan desire for more Tony Stark is loud and clear. So how could Tony come back? Imagine a scenario where Tony Stark returns, not in the flesh, but as an advanced AI version of himself. Think of it as the ultimate Jarvis upgrade. This AI Tony could mentor the new Avengers, providing guidance, strategy, and maybe even a bit of his signature snark. He wouldn't be on the front lines, but he could be an invaluable advisor, helping the new team navigate threats with the wisdom only Iron Man could offer. This way, Tony continues to impact the MCU, guiding new heroes without undoing the power of his sacrifice. Up next, let's take a look at Avengers vs. X-Men. This storyline could be one of the most exciting yet because it brings together two of the Marvel's biggest teams, the Avengers and the X-Men. The conflict starts over something called the Phoenix Force, a very powerful energy that can destroy anything in its path. In the comics, this force is looking for a new person to inhabit, and it chooses Hope Summers, a young mutant. The Avengers want to protect the Earth and see the Phoenix Force as a major threat, while the X-Men believe Hope is important for the future of mutants and want to defend her. With Disney now owning the rights to X-Men, we could see this battle happen in movies, which would be a huge deal because it combines fan favorites from both teams. Next on the list, the new S.H.I.E.L.D. In the comics, S.H.I.E.L.D. plays a pivotal role not just as a spy agency, but as a foundational element in the formation and support of the Avengers. This organization has been through various incarnations and leadership changes, adapting to new threats, and often working closely with superheroes to safeguard Earth. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've seen S.H.I.E.L.D.'s trajectory take a dramatic turn. After its infiltration and eventual collapse due to Hydra, as shown in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, its remnants morphed into smaller factions with reduced influence, seen in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and through the series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The disbandment left a significant void in the global security landscape, one that has been filled only sporadically by various groups and initiatives. Considering this background, the potential for a new version of S.H.I.E.L.D. could significantly reshape the MCU. Next up is, time travel has been around in Marvel Comics for a long time, especially with characters like Kang the Conqueror, who loves messing with time. Kang often travels through different times to change events for his own benefit, leading to big fights with the Avengers and other heroes. His actions show how delicate time can be, and how even small changes can have big effects. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, time travel was a key part of Avengers Endgame. The Avengers used it as a last effort to collect the Infinity Stones from different times to reverse Thanos' destructive snap. This not only introduced time travel to movie fans, but also showed its dangers, like creating alternate realities. After Endgame, the idea of the Avengers going on more time travel missions seems likely. The MCU's timeline is now more flexible, especially with the multiverse. The Avengers might use time travel to stop big disasters, or try to fix past mistakes. This could include stopping future villains, saving heroes who died, or trying to prevent big disasters. But messing with time comes with big consequences. The more the Avengers change the past, the more they risk causing new problems. They might struggle with the choice of whether it's right to change the past, and each change could start new threats. For example, stopping a villain from rising to power might accidentally lead to a bigger threat taking their place. With the introduction of the Time Variance Authority, TVA, in the Loki series, there's also a need to think about the rules of time travel. Up next is Rise of the Villain Avengers. Dr. Doom has ruled Latveria almost tyrannically, but has shown his protective side during global threats, indicating his capacity to be more than just a villain. Similarly, Magneto, often seen as one of the X-Men's greatest foes due to his radical methods for mutant survival, has also joined forces with the X-Men when the stakes were high, demonstrating his complex nature as a character torn between villainy and heroism. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there are hints of a similar theme. Loki, for example, has fluctuated between being a villain and an ally through the Thor and Avengers series. His character development, especially noted in the Loki series, suggests a more permanent shift toward heroism. His evolution from a mischievous villain to a character with a deeply troubled but evolving moral compass sets a precedent for transformation. Imagine an Avengers team where reformed villains like Loki play a central role. This concept could include characters like the Winter Soldier, who has already transitioned from antagonist to hero. Next up is the introduction of the Multiverse Avengers. The Doctor Strange sequel and the series Loki introduced us to the idea of the multiverse, where many different universes exist at the same time. This opens up the door for an Avengers team made up of heroes from these different universes. Imagine several different versions of the same hero working together. This is great for storytelling because it lets the writers explore new character combinations and what-if scenarios, like what if Spider-Man from one universe met Iron Man from another. It would make the stories more interesting and give us a chance to see our favorite characters in new ways. Coming down to our last theory, is a greater threat than Thanos. We've seen formidable villains like Loki and Thanos, who snapped away half the universe. As the MCU expands, introducing a greater threat like Galactus, the devourer of worlds, seems likely. Unlike Thanos, who aimed to balance the universe, Galactus is a cosmic entity needing to consume planets to sustain himself, representing an unstoppable natural disaster. His introduction could escalate stakes post-Endgame, challenging heroes on a cosmic level and uniting diverse forces against him. It could also lead to the appearance of other cosmic entities and characters like the Silver Surfer in future storylines. And there you have it, fellow Avenger fans. That these theories could really change the Marvel Cinematic Universe in exciting ways, from a possible sneak attack by aliens called Skrulls, to new leaders or even a team of former bad guys turning into heroes. What do you think about these theories? Do you have any guesses or ideas about what might happen next in the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. Are you curious for more Marvel content? Well, that's the subject of this other video. Click on this video to see the top 10 mind-blowing theories about the Hulk. Go ahead, click it!